Hey everyone, and welcome back to my monthly horror roundup, where I list off every horror movie coming out in August, quickly tell you what they're about, and where you can watch them. First off, on August 2nd is Gone in the Night. This stars horror veteran Winona Ryder and John Gallagher Jr. from 10 Cloverfield Lane. And it tells the story of Kath and her boyfriend Max, who after arriving at a remote cabin in the woods, find a mysterious younger couple already there. Days later, once Max disappears with the young woman, Kath becomes obsessed with finding an explanation. Also on August 2nd, Allegoria comes out on Shudder. Allegoria is about a group of artists whose lives become unwittingly entangled as their obsessions and insecurities manifest monsters, demons, and death. On August 4th, What Josiah Saw comes out on Shudder as well. What Josiah Saw tells the story of a family with buried secrets who reunite at a farmhouse after 2 decades to pay for their past sins. The next day, on August 5th, They Them comes out on Hulu. This is a slasher starring Kevin Bacon and is about a group of kids at a gay conversion camp fighting for their lives while being hunted by a masked killer. Also on August 5th, another social commentary slasher comes out, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. This, somewhat surprisingly, is an A24 film that stars Pete Davidson, and is a satirical story of a group of rich, vapid 20-somethings whose party at a remote family mansion turns deadly. Also on August 5th, Resurrection comes out on VOD. This is an IFC film that premiered at Sundance earlier this year, and stars Rebecca Hall from The Night House. Resurrection is about Margaret, whose life is in order. She is capable, disciplined, and successful. Everything is under control. That is, until David returns, carrying with him the horrors of Margaret's past. Believe it or not, one more movie also comes out on August 5th, as Prey will be released on Hulu. Prey is another installment in the Predator franchise and is directed by Dan Trachtenberg, director of 10 Cloverfield Lane. Set 300 years ago, Prey tells the story of a young Comanche woman, a fierce and highly skilled warrior, who stalks and ultimately confronts a highly evolved alien predator with a technically advanced arsenal. Finally, not on August 5th, but instead on August 12th, Day Shift comes out on Netflix. Day Shift stars Jamie Foxx and is about a vampire hunter living in LA who has a week to settle his debts by collecting bloodsucker bounties. A week later, on August 18th, Glorious comes out on Shudder. This stars J.K. Simmons, and its synopsis is, after a breakup, Wes ends up at a remote rest stop. He finds himself locked inside the bathroom with a mysterious figure speaking from an adjacent stall. Soon, Wes realizes he is involved in a situation more terrible than he could imagine. Not only on the same day, but also on the same streaming service, on August 18th, The Innocents comes out on Shudder. The Innocents is not a remake of the 1961 film, but instead is about a group of Nordic children who reveal their dark and mysterious powers one day when the adults aren't looking. The next day, on August 19th, Beast comes to theaters. This stars Idris Elba and is about a father trying to protect his 2 teenage daughters after they find themselves hunted by a massive rogue lion intent on proving that the savannah has but one apex predator. And no, I don't mean that predator. Also on August 19th, because I guess same-day releases are just this month's theme, Orphan First Kill comes out in theaters and Paramount+. Orphan First Kill is a sequel to the 2009 film and once again follows Esther, who after orchestrating a brilliant escape from an Estonian psychiatric facility, travels to America by impersonating the missing daughter of a wealthy family. Side note, whether this is good or bad, I am just so excited to see how this is even gonna work, considering Isabel Furman was a 12-year-old playing a 12-year-old in the first movie, and now it has been 13 years in real life, and she is 25 playing 12. 4 days later, on August 23rd, So Vam will be released on Shudder. This is the feature debut of Alice McKay, an Australian trans teen filmmaker, and is about Kurt, who after being kidnapped by a predatory old vampire, becomes part of a gang of rebellious vampires who feed on bigots and abusers. Last on my list, on August 31st, Barbarian comes out in theaters. Barbarian stars Justin Long and Bill Skarsgård, and is about a young woman who arrives at her Airbnb late at night, only to find that her rental has been mistakenly double booked and a strange man is already staying there. Against her better judgment, she decides to stay the night anyway, but soon discovers that there is much more to be afraid of in the house than the other house guest. Of all the many movies I just listed, my pick for my most anticipated horror film of the month of August is Barbarian. And honestly, it's not even close. I try to keep these videos short, but if I really wanted to, I could talk for over an hour about my excitement for Barbarian. Director Zach Cregger, much like Jordan Peele and Danny McBride, is a comedian turned horror director, and is from the comedy sketch show Whitest Kids You Know. Whitest Kids was a gigantic part of my teen years. I've probably rewatched each sketch between 10 and 20 times, and that's a conservative guess. I fucking love these guys. I want to support anything they do. I would have been excited to see Zach's new movie either way. But the fact that this trailer genuinely looks really good, and it has a great cast, and there is tons of online buzz coming from non-Whitest Kids You Know fans, has me over the fucking moon with anticipation for Barbarian. Alright, anyways, that was my August horror movie roundup. I think this was the most movies I've ever listed in a single month. August is going to be a buffet for horror fans. Beyond Barbarian, I can't wait for Prey and Orphan. They, Them, and Bodies, Bodies, Bodies also look like a lot of fun as well. Also, by the way, I got early screeners for both Day Shift on Netflix and Glorious on Shudder, so keep your eyes on my channel for early reviews for both of those movies. As well, I would also love to hear from all of you, so please comment down below letting me know what your most anticipated movie for the month of August is. And for any Whitest Kids You Know fans that may be watching, please comment your all-time favorite sketch. Personally, mine is either Gallon of PCP, Nail Gun, or Opus.
Kill us, God!
Kill us!
Kill us all! Kill me, God!
God, kill us!
You fucker!
If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, Horror Flicks with Nick. Twice a week I post horror reviews, commentaries, and short recommendations for horror movies you should watch on Netflix and other streaming services. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in September.